Yeah, for me, it's always difficult coming off 3 games in 3 days in an MTE situation. And today was no exception to that. We were a little bit stuck in the mud early, I thought. We had a really difficult time offensively, and then they went under a lot of things, switched a lot of things, played us really soft defensively, and we got a little bit passive, I thought, with what we were trying to do on offense. And that happens when you get in those situations, and they switched everything, went under everything, gave our shooters a lot of open looks, and those guys were trying to be unselfish. It was just a point of emphasis for us going into this game, and what they did defensively, I thought bothered us a little bit. Just threw off our rhythm. I thought, we obviously got to take better care of the basketball. I was pleased that we rebounded a little bit better on both ends. And I thought in the second half we shared it all right. We've got a big week ahead, and no chance to take a rest or feel sorry for ourselves. So we got to get back to the practice floor tomorrow and get ready for an incredibly difficult week.
What sort of things did you want to see improvement in over the MT?
Yeah, number one, we just haven't rebounded the basketball to our. We were a top 10 offensive rebounding team in the country last year and a top 75 defensive rebounding team in the country, and we've been precisely the opposite in both thus far this season. So we've got to rebound the basketball better. That's been a huge focus the couple of days since we've been back. It starts with that. If we can't rebound the basketball, we can't run. If we can't run, we aren't playing enough possessions in games, and we're not really built to be a team that can grind you out in the half court. So we got to get better. Rebounding the basketball firstly, and then second thing is we just got to pass the basketball better. Got to complete passes, and got to do a better job of making one-mores on the perimeter and just being unselfish at all times.
Do you feel, 47-19 on the boards today?
Yeah, obviously we had some physical advantages tonight that we didn't have in the Cayman Islands at some places. But I thought when we were disadvantaged, we did a good job. We did a better job at getting down to some crackdown situations where our big has to rotate over and help, getting back over there and helping the helper. We did a better job with a couple of exceptions tonight. We did a better job in those situations, and those are the ones that we felt like were the ones that we really needed to clean up from our trip to the Caymans. So I was pleased with our effort there. We've got to just continue to get better in that area. It's not something you can fix in 2 days. It's going to take us 2 or 3 weeks. And as we add these guys back into the mix, we just don't have our rhythm right now. Teams that have been playing together for the last month, they've got a rhythm now, and we're trying to integrate some new players into the rotation, and the guys that we're playing are playing different roles in some cases and different minutes in others, and everybody's trying to feel each other out. We look like a team playing its first game, not its ninth, or eighth or ninth, whatever tonight was. So, we've just got to keep better. Keep getting better. We desperately need the practice floor right now, and we're going to get that the next couple of days.
Do you feel like some guys got more acclimated tonight?
Yeah, especially Bobby is he wasn't out as long as Terry, so I think it's come back to him a little quicker. I'm sure he's sitting to my right, so I'm sure he can tell you that he's not 100% yet, but he's probably getting a little bit closer. Terry sat out for basically 3 months, so it's going to take him probably another month to where he feels like himself. He's missing some easy shots and just doing some things he's not 100%. Things that he wouldn't do when he's 100%. But they're getting better, and I think they're getting closer to where they are. And then the guys that have had their minutes affected have got to kind of readjust to their new roles as well. So it's kind of multifaceted, the issues we have right now. And like I said, the only real way to fix them is to just get more repetitions in practice, and then hopefully take what we do on the practice floor and translate it into games and have a little bit of success.
Yeah, Bobby, do you feel like you're about there as far as?
I feel like I'm getting there. Obviously I'm still kind of shaking the rust off, and obviously it was kind of difficult coming back. The first game, Cayman Islands, and being used as a key guy. I think I played 25 minutes or so, but it's still showing me I'm not too far off. Just got to put in more work with the guys, and like today I was trying to get a feel for my guys. Get guys more involved, and think after the next few games and, this full week of practice, I think everything will start coming together.
So is your shot about there? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've been putting in the work every day, every summer. Coach Huss and, the rest of the staff have been on me because that's, when people look at me, that's the, the last thing they could say I'm kind of slacking in. So, yeah, it's really just all confidence for me right now.
And how tough is that? Got you and several other guys. How tough is that to come in like 6, 8, 10 games into the season?
For me, for me personally, I don't think it's that tough. Kind of just, I've been around, teams where obviously it's super stacked. Even AAU basketball playing with Chris Paul and obviously being at Kansas, even ECU last year, we had a lot of guys that could go, and I was hurt at first and had to come back, but I'm good at, I'm a visual learner, so we're just watching guys and see how they play. I know, where they like to score, where they like to catch the ball, so I've been studying for sure.
And this was basically a 20-point game after the first 10 minutes. How hard is it to keep the intensity up after jumping out to a like that?
I mean, it can be difficult, but you need a group of guys that we got to lead each other. As coach says, need to be player led, not coach fed. So we need to all be on top of each other. In the timeout, I try to kind of lead a few guys and tell them treat this as one of those games. We need these 4 minutes. Let's try to win these 4 minutes and come out the media timeout and really get going.
Josh had a nice line for you tonight. Six rebounds, 4 blocks, 3 steals.
Yeah, Josh needs to finish a few plays around the rim, but he played with a lot of activity. Down in the Caymans, I thought he was really better than he was tonight. He just today, he's just like a typical freshman. He does some great things. He does some other things that aren't so great. The beautiful thing with him is he's got an intelligence level that typically he doesn't make the same mistake in multiple plays. Like he'll make a new mistake because he's smart. He learns from the old one. He's got to be a little bit more physical. The one thing is for international kids, they don't grow up playing high school basketball the same way we do. So when you see these undersized guys on some of these non-Division I teams, he's not used to playing against those guys. He's been playing against guys his size his whole life, so he's much more comfortable finishing, I think, against guys that are a little bit more like-sized. It's a little different feeling, and I'm a big guy, so I understand it. When a guy's kind of walling you up and he's walking under you a little bit, you get away with a little bit of that contact. It's a little bit different to get used to, and he'll get used to some of those situations, finishing against those mismatches. And he'll finish plays. He's got great hands and good touch, so he'll finish plays as he gets more comfortable.
And we're low shooting percentage of the first half. Is that shot selection or not shooting basketball?
I think a combination of all the above, all the aforementioned factors. I think it's a combination of new guys being added in. It's old guys being readjusted. Some of it was shot selection. Some of it was their switching defense. Some of it was their unders. We really wanted to get the basketball moving and get it going from side to side, and they decided to switch 5 ways. And when you switch 5 ways, ultimately you got to beat a matchup. That's kind of what's available, and they're not going to commit 2 to the basketball, so you got to in an on-ball action. So the only way to attack it really is to attack a matchup, either attacking a matchup on the block or attaching a matchup on the perimeter. And they were kind of bound and determined to make us finish those plays, which didn't feed in exactly to what I wanted them to do. So we adjusted on the fly, and in the second half I thought we were a little more efficient.
Yeah. Anything in particular, in addition to what you touched on, that you need to do better against UNCG tonight?
Well, I just think they're a very good defensive basketball team. They're very disciplined, and we're not either of those things yet. I think we will be in time. So we've just got to get better. I don't know if there's any one facet of the game or one area of the game that we need to focus on any more than any others. We've got to be a little bit more efficient offensively because they're going to be really physical defensively. They're going to really ice our pick and rolls and keep us on one side of the floor, and that's something that we haven't seen a ton of thus far. So we've got to kind of flip into that prep mode tomorrow and get ready for what's going to be a difficult test of a veteran group that is going to try to keep us on one side of the floor and be physical with us, and it'll be a challenge. It'll be a challenge to be our first true road game, and we're ready for it, I hope.
Any other questions? Elliott, Memorial and Williams getting 14 points in the first half. What'd you like from today?
Well, it was kind of what I mentioned earlier. They switched on-ball actions, and DeMar is one of our best one-on-one players. So when they decided to switch the 5 on him, he took advantage of some of those matchups, got deep paint touches, and once he got a couple of those paint touches, they backed off him a little bit in those switches, and then he was able to get going from the perimeter. So, like I said, it wasn't what I anticipated. It's not what they had shown on film prior to this game. But it was good. It was a good practice for us to go against something we were totally ill-prepared to face. And I thought DeMar capitalized. Kamani, if he would have been given more minutes, he's another one of those guys that can really beat those switches. He would have done the same thing, but I just didn't play him very many minutes as I wanted to get some other guys some looks.
Thank you.
Thank you.